Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you're watching this video. Welcome to another episode of this EAFC 26 modding tutorial series. My name is Edson Ochoa, and today we're going to be talking about the next step in this Create a Club tutorial process, and that is actually going to be creating the team kits table, which will handle the model type and the appearance of your kits, whether it's the home, away, or the goalkeeper kit. So let's go ahead and head over to FC Editor by Decoruiz 19. So the first thing we're going to do, as always, when we're starting this tutorial series, is we're going to be loading our EAFC 26 squad file. And so once it finishes loading, now what we're going to be doing is, obviously, we need to select first and El Paso Locomotive. And actually, before we go into the edit team kits, let's not forget we have to go to edit team in order to create the table for the team kits, and it's the only one that we have left. So created missing data for team El Paso Locomotive, and now we can close this and we can go straight into edit team kits. And so what we have here is all of the information that is going to go in the team kits table. So basically the color of the kits, home, away, and goalkeeper, the font type, the color of the fonts, whether it's the jersey name number or the shorts number. Now keep in mind, if you're going to be using custom fonts that are not in the game, you're going to have to do an extra step, which will be going once we head into the functionality and the tutorial process using the FIFA editor tool to import and export all of these different textures and fonts into the game. That step is going to be necessary. If you're going to be using the fonts that already come in the game, then it's just simple as linking them to the correct font type, and it should work as soon as you finish editing the database. If you're going to do and it is something that's completely new, then you will need to go into FC or FIFA editor, which we're going to be doing anyway in the future with the kit textures. So this part of the process does a couple of things. So number one, it allows the game engine to figure out what model to render in the game when it's loading all these assets. It's going to also allow it to show the correct fonts that you need and the colors. Like, for example, some scoreboards do rely on primary secondary colors to populate that particular part of the scoreboard, right, where it gives you those indications, the color number and the font numbers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be to set the information for El Paso Locomotive's kits. Now, these are kits from, I believe this is like the 23-24 season. Yeah, 2024 season. So they're not the 2025 season. These are kits that I myself created back in 2024. This is where we're gonna be using these textures, and we're gonna use all the necessary information in order to link it into the database, right? What's the first thing we're gonna do? Is we're going to go into the home kit tab, which is already by default, and we need to first tell it, okay, what are the colors? What are the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors that this jersey needs, right? What I like about this application is now it allows you to, when you go here to map shirt colors, I can actually open the texture, right? And it doesn't import it into the game. Keep this in mind, right? But what it does, it'll allow it to analyze it and see what are the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors that it uses. Unfortunately, it's not 100% correct, as you can see right here. But it does kind of analyze it to see, okay, which are the most commonly used colors. And technically it is correct. You got the light blue, the second most, and the white, the third most. However, if you want to be a little bit have more control over what you want, you can also open Photoshop or whatever image editing software you have, and you can use the color picker. And let's say you want to say a specific color you want to grab. So for example, in my case, I don't want to use the tertiary color as the white one. Why? Because technically those are just like for the sponsors, right? In reality, the tertiary color would be the yellow that is here in the collar, right? So we want to grab, the hexadecimal value in the collar, And so this is where we're gonna copy this hexadecimal value, and then we're gonna go back here. Make sure you keep the numeric symbol, and then you're gonna paste this hexadecimal value in here. So now you have your primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Like I said, if you just want to make it automated, you can map the shirt colors, and it'll analyze it for you. But if you want to be, let's say you want to be specific, you can do that yourself via these image editing software like Adobe Photoshop with the color picker. All right, so we've done that. The Captain Armband, usually just leave it default by 13. Has advertising LOC. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, this means that, for example, there are some jerseys that, for example, if they have a casino sponsorship, so some countries do not allow casino sponsorships, right? So in those specific locations, it is region locked based on the laws of that particular country. So that's what the kind of restriction is. For the most part, when you're modding, I mean, you don't really care about that. That's mostly a EA protection. Make sure they follow the law. So you could just leave it at no. Is embargoed? I think that's a similar thing. That you just leave these at no. And is locked? No. So is locked is more along the lines of where you have unlockable uniforms. I remember back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but you could actually unlock with points like a third kit for a particular team, and so that's basically what this is, the locked. So we can just leave those at no. Template indexes, another thing that I don't really know about, and I have zero idea. So let's go ahead and skip that. Just leave it at 0. The short style. So basically you have different short types, as you can see right here. The short style 0, that is basically where the so there's no cut, there's no indent or anything at all. It's just straight short sleeve, right? Short style 1, I believe that looks more like, I want to say it's like pants or 3/4 pants, as you can see right here from the image. And then short style 2, there's a small little indent right there. Short style 3, there's a little cut. Short style 6, those are some of the newer Adidas style. And then you got short style 7 as well. It's basically taking a look at the uniform or the kit that you're trying to recreate, and you want to make sure, like, to based on these images, you want to look at the one that best reflects the short type that is used in real life, and you're able to select that particular model. So for example, if we look at Opaso Locomotive, you can see that it is a straight cut, and you also see that they do have a short number used in their kits. And so in this case, we're gonna go ahead and place short number placement yes. Now the short number font type, so basically you're gonna look at these numbers right here, and you can select the different styles. And I believe there's actually a lot of different styles that you can choose. See, so for example, you can do like 3, 4, and I want to say it goes up to 299. Okay, so you actually have up to 298 options of font types for the shorts numbers and jersey numbers. However, in this case with 299, as you can see, this is actually a number that is not available in game, but it is a number that I imported into FC editor, because that'll be an option that I will be importing into FIFA editor, so that way it'll be added into the game. So this is actually the 2025 official USL Championship font number. So we'll just for these purpose, we'll go ahead and use that. I will be showing you once again, as I mentioned, I'll be showing you the process how to import these custom fonts and font numbers into the game. So you select your font type for the shorts. Okay, so then what we have next here is this is where you choose the colors that you want these numbers to be colored in by the game. And you have your primary, secondary, and tertiary color. Now you're wondering, Edson, why do you get to why is there a choice of 3 colors? Well, because technically the numbers or the number textures in the game are actually used what this is called the RGB values. So these are recolorable textures, right? And so they use true red, true green, and true blue. And so red would be primary color, green would be secondary color, and the yellow or the blue would be tertiary color. Now, if you look at the textures right here that I used, make them a little bigger, you can see that the only color that is in the texture is red. So the only color that we need to actually change would be the primary color. Now, there are other font textures that have, red and green, or red and blue, or red, green, and blue, right? And so those specific areas that are colored red, that are colored green, that are colored blue, those are going to be recolored by the game with the number that you put in these values, right? So that's the way it works. But in this case, we're going to use this same white value, hexadecimal value, DC, DC, DC. We're going to put it for the primary color. Now we jump into jersey color, right? So you can select, so these are all of the jersey model types that are used in the game. But as I mentioned in the texture, as shown in the texture, the color type that we're using for this home kit would be color 5. And so you select it, or you can just type there 5, and that's what's going to go into the database. Chest badge, right sleeve badge, or left sleeve badge. This is like, for example, if you're going to be inputting this team in a league that does have, so like for example, if you're going to be adding this team into the USL champion, or not the USL championship, into the EFL championship, right? And they have a particular badge ID that they use in the game, right? So it'll show up, right, the badge on their sleeve, and that's not part of the kit texture, right? This is a separate layer per se. So you would find that ID because it'll be the same. It's the same as the league ID, and so you would put here right sleeve badge. So you would put like 13, right? And so whenever the game renders the team, it will come up with the EFL championship badge in the game. But as the USL doesn't have a badge by default in the game, we can set it to 0. Jersey fit, basically, if it's a regular fit jersey or if it's the tight version of the kit model. As you can see here, I mean, they use regular fit, right? So we'll keep it a regular. Jersey name placement, basically if you want the kit to show the player's last name or their nickname, whatever they use, you can set it, you set it to yes. Jersey name font type, this is where you choose the ID of the font that you want. So for example, you've got the player name. There is actually a way, there is actually a website, and I mentioned it back in the FIFA 22 tutorials, the FIFA kit creator, and that one will actually give you a drop down with all of the available fonts, and it'll actually show you how it'll look like as well, without you having to to guess and type. You choose a font ID. If you want it to be lowercase, mixed case, or total uppercase. I think for the most part, the jersey fonts tend to be all uppercase, but there are some cases. I think Puma for the 2010 World Cup had a font that used mixed case, right, where it has uppercase and lowercase. So depending on what you need, that is the case that you will choose here. In this case, we're going to be using uppercase. Jersey name layout, do you want it straight, straight horizontal, or do you want it arched for it to be rendered in the game like that? So for the most part, you can choose it straight, or depending on what the kit uses that you're trying to emulate. You have also the jersey name font color, same thing. You know, you can you put in the hexadecimal value in here, how you want the player name to, what color the player name should be displayed in the game. We'll leave that as this white grayish value. Jersey name outline width. This is actually pretty new. Previous FIFAs didn't have it. I'm not sure if 25 had this before, but I know 20. Well, you can see 26 for sure. They do allow you to add a stroke or an outline to the letter fonts, right? And so if you do have a jersey that has, you know, player names with an outline, now you're able to set it up and choose the, you know, the outline with a 1 or a 2. I haven't really messed with it since the kits that I've been importing don't have outlines, you know, and so you could set it to 0. And once again, just to be safe, you know, just in case if there's any artifacts that kind of stray in there, you can put the jersey name outline color to the same color as your overall font color. Just like I said, there's no random artifacts that appear in a different color around the letters, right? Jersey number font type, like you said, we're going to be using 299, and we're going to be doing the same thing. You got this, you got the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Jersey front number placement is pretty much self-explanatory. Do you want the jersey to render the number in the front of the jersey as well? I think this is mostly for like national teams. Not a lot of clubs have that, so you can set that to no. And you can actually use right here this text box. You can type in any name and it'll render you, see how it'll look like using the font that you have chosen in jersey name font type, right? And so you do this, you'll do the same thing for the away kit, and you'll do the same thing for the goalkeeper kit. And that's pretty much it for the team kit portion of this tutorial. Once you fill out all of this information, what you're going to do is you're going to be saving your changes. So when you save your changes, you should be able to, when you open it again, all those you have to just make sure that all of the changes that you made got saved into it, and you will. So now that portion is done. Now the following, what I'm going to mention now, it's optional, but if you want to go with a realistic career mode, let's say you are creating the National League, right, which is the 5th division in England. And so you're adding the league, you're adding all of its teams. So obviously it is within the realm of promotion, relegation, and the tournaments regarding to the Football Association, right? So with doing that, if you want a realistic experience with career mode when it comes to the visuals, and like I mentioned, the badges, or not, yeah, so like the sleeve badges, front badges, etc., and for it to be automatic in your career mode, because keep in mind, this particular thing, you need for it to be established in the database before you start your career mode. Otherwise, it won't work. Trust me. I found out the hard way when I was testing the Red Crowns mod that I was making. What you need for that is what's called the comp kits, the competition kits. And so what this does, so you go to edit comp kits and you say you want to create one because it doesn't have comp kits. So you say yes. Let's say, for example, when you're in career mode, you want the team to have the EFL League 2 badge in the game when they're playing EFL League 2 matches. So what you're going to do right here is you're going to press EFL League 2, and you're going to do the same thing with the League 1, Championship, and the Premier League. It'll do it automatically as you go up in the ranks or you go down in the ranks, right? It'll be programmed into it to change. And that includes as well like the cups and everything. The comp kits will allow you, so like let's say Champions League. You see some clubs that they use the league's font, obviously in league play and cup play, but you notice that in the Champions League, they use a completely different font. And this is where so the comp kits come in handy. Like let's say PSG. I think PSG does that in Real Madrid as well. So this is where you change that here, right? Otherwise, it'll just copy what is already established by default in the team kits database or table, right? But this is where you can come in and you can change the font type. So let's say you just want to use a different font type for this particular competition, as well as the font number as well, and the colors. So the importance of this is that whenever you have competition kits, the game will know, based on these entries in the records of the database, it'll know that, okay, if you are playing a game in League 2, then when I load the asset with these particular properties for this competition for the kit, it'll automatically know, okay, I also have to load in this case, EFL League 1 or League 2 or Championship badge on the sleeves. And so that's how that process works for career mode. So once you're done all of that, and you can create another one. Let's say you want one for the EFL Championship. So select the EFL Championship, press create. It'll create a new entry. Once again, we're not really making any changes, so you just press save changes. Competition kit saved successfully. And when you go back, you will see now you'll have 3 entries. You've got EFL League 2, EFL League 1, and EFL Championship. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going back to the process of exporting all of this edited data. Select the folder, and now it's going to be exporting all of these tables. And these are the tables, like I mentioned in the previous episodes, is you're going to be importing them into the squad file using Revolution Database Master 26. We're going to open RDBM 26. We're going to load our squad file. Now that the squad file has loaded, the tables that we need to import are going to be this one, the team kits. And so once again, import single table. You're going to go to the folder that you saved it on. You will find the team kits table right here. You import it, and we can go ahead and see that we have our 3 kits for El Paso Locomotive, and all of the information that we added into the game, all the properties of the colors, the recoloring, and everything, right? And then the other one that we're going to be importing is going to be, there's something, competition kits. Here it is. So these are all the competition kits. And so once again, we're going to be importing that. Go to competition kits, you import it. I'm going to sort it. So you can see right here, we have all of these competition kits that are available. Like I said, home, away, and goalkeeper. So you have in total, one more. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which corresponds, right? Because we did 3 competitions, and it's going to be home, away, and goalkeeper kit for each of those competitions. So there's going to be 9 entries in here. So now we verified that all of this information has imported correctly into the squad file. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save it. We're going to save the squad file. And now technically the squad file is ready to be read by the game. I know there was somebody that posted a comment, and I appreciate the feedback from the last episode, where he asked, hey, I tried loading the squad file into the game, but it's telling me that it's corrupted, right? And the reason probably was, I told him that, we probably tried loading this tutorial squad file when it didn't have an entry for the team kits, because we hadn't done it and imported it into the squad file yet, right? So that's why it's giving the corrupted. It's missing data, so the game thinks, oh, it's a corrupted file. We need to get rid of it, right? So, but now it should be able to go in and load the squad file correctly. And because we haven't input all these custom textures that we're going to be using for El Paso Locomotive, it'll probably give you like a default texture, or the checkerboard texture that says a missing texture, right? But we will be going into the other portion of editing and FIFA and creating a club, and that is actually going to import these assets into the game using FIFA editor. But that's going to be it for this video. Once again, just a quick recap. We have gone through the process of creating a club and all of its properties and details. We've gone into creating a manager and the formations and creating a roster. And today we talked about, you know, creating the team kit database so that the game is able to load the models, the necessary models properly for the team that you're gonna be wanting to play with in this case. But let me know if there was anything that I missed from any of these three portions. If you run into any issues, any bugs from the process that we've gone through so far, I appreciate all of your feedback, your support. I want to thank you all. We've managed to reach 500 subscribers, so I'm pretty stoked about it, and thank you all honestly for your support, your trust in me bringing you all of this information, this help to help mod the game that we all love and we all love to hate. Let's not kid ourselves here. I understand that it's a long time between videos because of my daytime job, and of course I've also got this whole thing with doing play-by-play commentary for a local high school as well, so my spare time can be a little bit busy. But thank you all as well for your patience in between these videos in the process. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next video of this EAFC 26 modding tutorial series.